We live in a unique time in human history. For a start, there are so many of us. At the end of 2012, we hit 7 billion and just keep adding more with one birth every 8 seconds. To put this into perspective, I was born in 1974 and was the 3,972,326,007 person alive at the time. By the time my 50th birthday rolls around in 2024, there will be 8 billion people. The world's population will have doubled during my lifetime. Another way the present is so unique is where we live. For the first time in human history, more than half of us live in cities. And finally, if you live in America, you spend over 90% of your life indoors. Likely the same in most other developed countries. These are unique times. It wasn't always like this, of course. We evolved in the plains of Africa, spread out across the colder regions of the world where we lived in caves, and began to settle down into small communities 10,000 years ago as we developed agriculture, and eventually cities between 5,000 and 3,000 years ago. As we change the way we live, we also change the ways diseases are spread. We have always had infectious diseases, of course, and we know the types from different lines of evidence. We can examine worms and fossilized feces from 12,000-year-old cave dwellings in North America, deduce the telltale signs of TB infection in the bones of Egyptian pharaohs, or read the written records by Thucydides of smallpox-like infections that ravaged the Athenian army during the Peloponnesian War in 431 BC. But because this modern age really is special, then in some cases we have created truly unique ways for diseases to spread. We are just now collecting the evidence and finding some impressive surprises. Such a case is the SARS epidemic of 2003. SARS is a virus in the same group as the common cold, the coronaviruses. Unlike the common cold, it kills 10% of the people it infects, and in 2003 spread across 30 countries and regions, infecting 8,273 people, killing 775 people. It began in Guangdong province on mainland China, likely coming from food markets where people trade wild animals such as civets and bats which they eat. That is not novel, as 60% of human disease comes from the animals we eat. What is novel is what happened next. In Hong Kong, the disease arrived with a traveller from the mainland. Cases began being reported from Amoy Gardens, a massive 33-storey housing complex with 19,000 inhabitants. In total, 329 residents became infected, with 42 deaths reported. Importantly, only 4% were infected from direct contact with another infected person. How then did it spread? In a stunning investigation by the Hong Kong Department of Health, collaborating with 8 governmental agencies, the truth emerged. The index case was a 33-year-old man with end-stage kidney disease who came from Shenzhen, China, to Hong Kong for treatment. He stayed with his brother in the Amoy Gardens and for a few days before leaving again. When people started becoming sick, it was clear there was a strong spatial component. The Amoy Gardens has 19 blocks and 49% of cases were in Block E, with the majority of the remaining cases in nearby blocks. Although the index case stayed in Block E, he did not interact directly with the other people. They did, however, share a sewage system. One important feature of the Amoy Gardens infection was severe watery diarrhea, with 73% of cases having this unpleasant symptom, an average of 3.9 times a day. The way many 1980s buildings in Hong Kong were constructed was with a vertical shaft where all waste from 30 to 50 floors would pass down a single tube. This was the case in Amoy Gardens. Also, in each bathroom, there was a floor drain that linked the air in the bathroom to the same vertical shaft. The virus was able to pass from the vertical shaft with SARS-infected diarrhea to the bathrooms of other apartments. This happened not passively, but when occupants closed the bathroom door and turned on the extraction fan, thereby creating a negative pressure sucking the virus into their homes. The floor drain should have had a water trap. This is a small reservoir of water in the pipes that would have acted as a barrier preventing viral particles entering the bathroom. Unfortunately, because the buildings are so high, there is a massive pressure in the pipes which literally blew the water traps away, allowing the virus to travel to the bathrooms and then to human lungs. Technical plumbing details to be sure, but vital clues in the investigation. SARS is a sobering lesson of the very unexpected ways our modern cities can drive disease transmission. At no time in human history have we lived in apartment buildings with 19,000 residents and shared air and sewage supplies with them. While the cost of the epidemic was high, it could have been much worse. What we need to do now is learn the lessons of that event and design better spaces where, for better or worse, we have decided to spend so much of our time.